Welcome to Game Face Live here at Astro Lanes in Wapakoneta, where tonight the special is Tenderloin Tuesday, a fresh breaded tenderloin and chips for just $4.25. Normally out here on Mondays, but today that's a pretty good way to start off a Tuesday. And nowhere else you're going to get a tenderloin like that for just $4.25. This is Game Face Live, and you can interact with us however you choose to do so. You can see the Facebook right there, facebook.com/GameFaceOhio. You can tweet us at GameFaceOhio as well and join in on the conversation throughout the course of these shows, normally on Monday nights at 7 o'clock. 419-561-9695, or you can email us gamefaceohio@gmail.com, and you can set up a Google Hangout or a Skype video call if you want to be a part of this show and show your pretty face. Again, there's the number on the screen, 9905, as we take a look at how you can always be a part of this show. Great guests coming up in the next couple of weeks and a lot of football talk. We'll start off with college football when we come back here to Astro Lanes on Game Face Live.
TSC can save you money.
How?
TSC can save you money with Emerge.
What's Emerge?
The Emerge bundle plan. TSC will merge your phone, cable TV, and internet in one nice, neat package to save you money.
How much money?
A boatload. The Emerge bundle plan, only from TSC.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
When you see an orange truck, you think GA Windsor & Son Company. But the next time you see an orange GA Windsor & Son truck, we want you to think green. Why green? Because GA Windsor & Son are the original recyclers. Using a modern fleet of trucks, GA Windsor & Son Company collects food co-products from restaurants, food retailers, and food manufacturers in Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Kentucky. These food co-products are used to manufacture quality livestock and pet care feed ingredients. So the next time you see an orange GA Windsor & Son truck, think green.
Back here to Astro Lanes in Wapakoneta, there are some very special things happening coming up this weekend. There's a big event we'll tell you about in just a little bit that has been passed on to us, and we take a look as the first weekend of September has come and gone, and well, Labor Day already, the unofficial last day of summer, means college football's back, or just a couple of days from the start of the NFL season. But last week, some big games in the area as the Ohio State Buckeyes put up not even a school record, 77 points, but they did beat a record dating back to the 1930s when they put up over 700 yards against Oberlin. Bowling Green now, unfortunately, on the opposite side of that record, 77-10. Michigan puts up 63 points. Tennessee, in one of the better games to open up the season, comes back to beat Appalachian State 20-13. Louisville, their quarterback accounts for 9 touchdowns in a 70-14 win. Stanford comes back. Christian McCaffrey, one of the best running backs in the entire country, maybe one of the better ones that Stanford has ever actually had. And Michigan State comes back and gets a win. Baylor in top 25 action. And what a lot of people thought was going to be a better game, number 1 Alabama came out of the gates swinging. They were down 3-0 after the first. Didn't give up really anything after that to USC and rolled 52-6. Clemson, also a great win against one of their rivals in Auburn. One of the most fun games to watch. Houston beats Oklahoma, and really what Tom Herman is doing down there is just amazing. That guy is a genius. I know a lot of Ohio State fans, when they let him go, knew that guy was going to be a big success, and the Cougars rolling now. Number 5 LSU and Leonard Fournette, they go up to Lambeau Field in Green Bay. They walk out losers, and I like the little extra of a kid named Bart coming back, named after Bart Starr, a Southern California kid that his dad is a big Packers fan, and he walks out of there with a win in the first college football game at Lambeau Field. I said Michigan all over. TCU beat up on South Dakota State. Last night, for my money, again, being a Florida State fan, one of the best games that I've seen them play in the second half in quite some time. They just exploded in the second half. DeAndre Francois, in his first career start, throws for over 400 yards, throws a pair of touchdowns, has two different 31-yard runs, and, well, Ole Miss didn't know what to do in the second half. Their quarterback, Chad Kelly, again, one of the top 5 kids for the Heisman, ends up with a quarterback rating of 5.9 in the second half. Noles get it done, and they'll take on Southwest Directional State this week, I believe. But a lot of big games coming up this weekend in college football as we take a look at the week number 2 schedule. It gets started on Friday night, Louisville and Syracuse. Dino Babers and Syracuse 1-0 on the season and playing pretty well. Oklahoma State gets their second game in action this week. Houston and Lamar. Not a lot of big matchups. Alabama gets Western Kentucky. Ohio State gets the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa. But other than that, kind of a calm week for college football after the quote-unquote greatest weekend to open college football in history. So we'll see what that means for week number 2. You can hear Bowling Green in action against the 5-time FCS defending champions in North Dakota. They're on K94 this week as they get an afternoon start. And everybody else, they really want that gold trophy, and they'll try and pick that up at the end of the year. Just a couple of minutes away, we'll talk some high school football as the 2-0 Wapakoneta Redskins are up first. Big win last week, and they'll get back in action this week in WBL play. Just a couple of minutes away from talking about the Redskins when we come back to Astro Lanes here in Wapakoneta on Game Face Live.
Come out to Astro Lanes in the Loft Bar and Grill, where you can find great food, good drinks, fun games, and of course, bowling. Astro Lanes, a great place to spend some spare time.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Welcome back to Astro Lanes here in Wapakoneta. Hard to believe that just a couple of weeks ago we were saying, hey, in just a couple of weeks it'll be week number 1 of high school football, the last week in August. And now, already saying it's week number 3. The question for Wapak and Travis Moyer was, coming into the year, were they going to be able to keep up their winning streak in the regular season? And were they going to be able to replace all of the starters they lost from a team that went 13-1 last year? So far through the first 2 weeks, I'd say that has been a resounding yes, as they have outscored their opponents in the first couple of games in Bellefontaine and Shawnee, 24-21 and 31-0, as you get a look at the highlights on the screen of last week. And Manny Voorhees has done a great job of stepping in for Adam Henderson, and now he gets a couple of touchdowns there. The week number 1, such a weird game where they went all the way down to Bellefontaine and then had to go back on Saturday just to finish a couple of minutes. This week, as you see in week number 2, where they beat Shawnee 31-0, and that's a young Shawnee team that you'll see in action again this Friday night, taking on St. Mary's. But they beat them 31-0 to get to 1-0 in the WBL and 2-0 overall, and just sheer brute force. The game taking place at Wapak, kind of just like last year, but last year as Voorhees knifes through the defense, See him change direction, and takes 3 or 4 Shawnee defenders to even get to him. Now he drops back, and, well, he thought he was going to get away, but he wasn't able to on that play. But this Redskins offense, so dynamic, doesn't matter who is behind it, the quarterback, or in this case, for Voorhees, the quarterback himself. He'll just call his own number and waltz into the end zone. A very smart kid at quarterback for Wapak, gets sacked a couple of times, but it's from great coverage downfield. The Indians, people have counted them out last couple of years. They're young, they've got lots of fast talent, but just too strong, the Wapak attack, as they continue to roll up and down the field. Wapak just about to enter the heart of the WBL schedule the next handful of weeks. The last 5 weeks, though, they have just one away game, and that game taking place at St. Mary's on October the 21st. Voorhees drops the snap, and you see it getting darker. At least Mother Nature allowed us to get through a full week of high school football. Voorhees just so elusive, and that brings you a little bit of something that they didn't have last year. Just that ability to move out of the pocket and try and change directions, change the offense's look, as Ray Manley can't hold on to that ball for Shawnee. And it comes right back to Wapak, and they continue to do what they do. I said it doesn't matter who you put back there. You lose someone as good as Cam Locke, you think maybe there's going to be a step down. Doesn't seem to be that way so far, and even great legs all the way through at Wapak, something that they have had the last handful of years. And Shawnee just trying to get anything to go. But like I said, this game ends up being a 31-0 victory. Shawnee got enough going. They gained close to 200 yards, I believe, in a game, but just weren't able to dent that scoreboard. And not a lot of people have done that at Harmon Field, as you see the teams lining up for the post-game handshake. And Wapak stretches their record to 2-0. And as usual, the student section in mass, and they are always a happy group. And Shawnee group that had to change coaches about 2 weeks before the start of the season when they lost Coach Carpenter. Not able to pick up a win yet. This week they will take on St. Mary's at home before traveling to take on Van Wert. And speaking of that St. Mary's team, as it'll be St. Mary's and Shawnee, the game you can see this weekend here on Game Face Ohio. But finishing up for the Redskins, they travel to take on a Kenton squad that actually the last 10 years has had their number. Kenton has beat them 7 of the last 11 times that those two have played. But Wapak got the win last year, 35-7 at home, in a year that, as you get a look at some highlights from the last couple of years, that wasn't all that kind to Kenton. Kind of retooling, had some younger players after losing a lot to graduation. So they are trying to figure some things out, and Wapak will look to go back to Robinson Field, always a hard place to win no matter what your record is and what their record is. We'll see what the Redskins can do as they march through the heart of WBL play. And it's still fun. Doesn't matter if it's a highlight to watch Cam Locke run. Just one more look at how special this team last year was for Wapak. Locke just right into the end zone. They do end up calling that a touchdown. You have to take my word for it. You see the official in the front. He broke the plate, and that another one of the record-setting Wapak wins. And Travis Moyer, not sure if he remembers the last time that he lost as a head coach in the regular season. They'll try and keep that from happening again as they travel to Kenton this week to take on the Wildcats. We'll talk all about what's going on here at Astrolanes in Wapakoneta, and we've got Rough Riders football coming up as well in the next couple of segments. You're watching Game Face Live here on Game Face Ohio.
We are state of the art.
We are professional.
Thank you. You're welcome. Have a great day. We are service you can trust.
We are here for you. With custom fabrication, a variety of roofing options, and exceptional roofing knowledge and expertise, Frost Roofing is committed to providing top-notch quality service on every project. To learn more, visit us online at frost-roofing.com and follow us on social media.
Back here on Game Face Live at Astor Lanes in Wapakoneta, you see the shot of the lanes as we come back here on a Tuesday night. They're not empty. I'm telling you right now that everybody is bowling on the left side of that camera shot, but I can tell you that there's a big event this weekend, the PBA Regional on September 10th and the 11th. You can find out more information at Astor Lanes Bowling Center on Facebook. They have a tremendous amount of specials, which is the part that I myself was looking when Brian Van Meter gave me the sheet. Walter Ray Williams Jr. will be here this weekend, a big name in the world of bowling. If you're not doing anything, you come down after high school football this Friday night. They just happen to have all-you-can-eat fish, French fries, and coleslaw for $7.99 from 8 p.m. or 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then this is where you got to come down. I know that Wapak is out. St. Mary's playing just down the road in Shawnee. 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., 50-cent wings and drink specials. Nowhere else you can go to hang out after a Friday night and a great week of high school football. Week number 3 already. Taking a look at the daily food specials as we sit here. It's Tuesday night. It's Tenderloin Tuesday. A fresh breaded tenderloin and chips for just $4.25. Wing Wednesday, wings on Wednesday, only 50 cents. So a terrific deal. And then Thursday, it's family night from 5 to 8 p.m. Bring your kids out, have a free meal for the kids with an adult purchase. And then 5 to 9, free kids bowling with a bowling adult, a paying adult. Otherwise, they probably will ask you to give them some money. 4-piece chicken dinner, French fries, and coleslaw for just $7.99. And then, like I told you, the terrific specials here on Friday night. And what goes better than the end of summer and high school football and some bowling? I don't believe that there's very many things. You can find us once again on Twitter at GameFaceOhio. If you want to be a part of this show on Facebook right now, there's a lot of people watching on the Facebook Live app on the Game Face Ohio channel. Or you can give us a call and tell us what you want to talk about, 419-581-9905, or be a guest of the show. Just email us gamefaceohio@gmail.com, and we'll set up either your Skype or Google Hangouts, and you yourself can be a part of this show. Coming up next, high school football part 2, as we talk about the St. Mary's Rough Riders, their win over Van Wert last week, and the game against Shawnee that you can see at 11 p.m. on Friday night right here on Game Face Ohio. This is Game Face Live.
Wapakoneta Daily News, bringing you local news and more since 1905. With subscriptions starting at just 35 cents a day, the Wapakoneta Daily News is Wapak's source for timely local coverage of news, sports, classifieds, entertainment, and more. The Wapakoneta Daily News. Subscribe online today. Strength is about so much more than the body. It's about being together, serving, sharing, and caring for those around us. It's about keeping score in the heart rather than on a scoreboard. Be a part of a community that builds more than your body. at the Wapakoneta Family YMCA.
Well, we talked about a little bit of Wapak football earlier on as we're out here at Astra Lanes in Wapakoneta. They got to 2-0 last week of the win over Shawnee. That's the opponent for this week for the Rough Riders of St. Mary's as they look to go to 3-0 for the third straight year. Last season, a win at home against the Indians. It didn't come easy, but Ray Manley, the quarterback for Shawnee, just days before that game, I believe it was on Tuesday, the starting quarterback who was in front of him had actually broken his ankle and led way for Manley to get the rest of the job for the rest of the year. Now, he will be the starter the entire way this year and this week against St. Mary's. You saw him in the highlights against Wapak, had an interesting time of it. He is a very elusive kid. He's able to scramble in and out and try and create some plays, not to the level of what St. Mary's has seen the last 2 weeks with Andre Gordon of Sydney in week number 1 and Lawson Blackmore last week for Van Wert. Blackmore, just a sophomore, comes in his first career start in week number 1. The Cougars take one on the chin, 28-19 against Bryan. Blackmore, though, in that game, throws for over 200 yards. This week against St. Mary's, or this past week, he goes 18-31 for 179 yards as you get some looks at week number 1 between St. Mary's and Sydney. That, one of the best games I've ever had the privilege to call. 43-39, St. Mary's picked up the win in a game that had an hour-long lightning delay, but they were still able to come back and get a couple of touchdowns, down 19 at one point in the third quarter, but able to stop plays like that from Connor Beer and come away with the win. Last week against Van Wert, Rough Riders had a relatively more easy time of it as they rolled up 395 yards to just 170 to Van Wert. Negative 14 rushing yards for Lawson Blackmore and negative yards overall. Actually, negative 9 yards rushing on 16 attempts for Van Wert. So, Rough Riders defense much better against the run in week number 2. They come in this week as the highest scoring offense through 2 games in the Western Buckeye League at 44.5 points per game. A lot of that thanks to this performance, a 46-6 win over Van Wert that we're talking about. Rough Riders ran 56 times for 354 yards. The most impressive thing, something that they had failed to do in week number 1 and struggled with last season, they were able to keep Van Wert to just 3 of 12 on third down. They themselves were able to go 7 of 10. They picked up first downs en masse as they picked up 20-plus first downs. And a big part of that, 102 yards each from Julius Fisher and Eric Spicer. Shannon Fowler throws in 31 yards. And Keaton Sawmiller picks up his first touchdown. Keegan with a nice little run at the end for the last touchdown. Dustin Howe throws a touchdown pass. He only completes 1 pass, but he throws a bullet right down the middle of the field, and Eric Spicer made a heck of an athletic catch. As you see the Rough Riders make a tackle in week number 1 to keep that from getting into the end zone. Julius Fisher has been a big part of the offense. Now you see him on the field, number 33 for the Rough Riders. He's the leading scorer with Dustin Howe. Each one of them have accounted for 24 points on the year already, and Howe hasn't thrown the ball essentially all that efficiently. He's just 4 of 10 on the year, but when you've got Julius Fisher, who's got 250 yards already and 4 touchdowns, Eric Spicer's got 243 and a touchdown. He's also caught 1, and you're Dustin Howe, and you've run for 4 yourself. That really helps out your offense. And the biggest thing for St. Mary's this week is they'll want to get off the field early and often against a Shawnee offense that loves to run a tempo, and you'll see that again on Friday night. That comes up at 11 p.m. here on Game Face Ohio. You can listen to the game live beginning at 6:30 with the pregame on K94 with myself and Denny Cisco from Shawnee. It'll be a packed press box in Shawnee. I know Todd's in the truck, and he loves that. But it'll be a big weekend of high school football as the Rough Riders look to go 3-0, and Coach Doug Fry looks to pick up career win number 200. He already is the second winningest coach in St. Mary's history, but he would be only the second coach with the great Skip Bachman to have ever hit the 200 mark. See what he can do. Again, you can see that game this Friday night at 11 p.m. here on Game Face Ohio. Just a handful of minutes left before we are done here. Don't forget, you can interact with the show at Game Face Ohio on Twitter, or watch with the throngs of people who are doing so on Facebook Live right now, or give us a call in the next segment. It's 419-581-9905, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. We've got NFL to talk about. Starts this week, coming up in just a couple of days, believe it or not. The big news, being a Dallas fan, the signing of Mark Sanchez. I don't know about that, but we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Again, the number 419-581-9905 as we continue here from Astor Lanes in Wapak on Game Face Live.
TSC can save you money.
How?
TSC can save you money with Emerge.
What's the merge?
The Emerge bundle plan. TSC will merge your phone, cable TV, and internet in one nice, neat package to save you money.
How much money?
A boatload. The Emerge bundle plan, only from TSC.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
When you see an orange truck, you think GA Windsor & Son Company. But the next time you see an orange GA Windsor & Son truck, we want you to think green. Why green? Because GA Windsor & Son are the original recyclers. Using a modern fleet of trucks, GA Windsor & Son Company collects food co-products from restaurants, food retailers, and food manufacturers in Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Kentucky. These food co-products are used to manufacture quality livestock and pet care feed ingredients. So the next time you see an orange GA Windsor & Son truck, think green.
Back here on Game Face Ohio, I talked about throughout the course of this show about this show being interactive and belonging to you. We've got a lot of comments on Facebook Live, a lot of them revolving around the fact that I, being a Spencerville alum, very proud of my Bearcats, who are 1-1 this season. They have Holgate this weekend, and while Holgate has not fared real well so far this year, Big E talking about how Spencer Tucky, as he refers to him, he's not from there, but we'll let it slide, will get the big win this week and get to 2-1, and talking about how the Rough Riders, all they need to do is keep pounding on the ground, averaging close to 7 yards per carry this season. And who is going to end Wapak's streak? I tell you what, I got to be honest. I got to hope it's St. Mary's. Being the voice of the Rough Riders, I got to hope it's them. I don't know that anybody else this year is ready. Elida's going through their own emotional thing right now, and, you know, Godspeed to them. But man, I don't know. It's just a machine. Hopefully, though, in week number 9, it's the blue and gold that figure out how to do just that. Back looking at the NFL quickly, kicking off on Thursday night at Sports Authority Field at Mile High Stadium in Denver. It's the defending world champions in the Denver Broncos with whoever is playing quarterback. Trevor Siemian, I believe, is tabbed to be the starter, taking on the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton gets Travis Benjamin back. Should be a much improved offense, and that's saying something because Newton himself is rewriting the NFC record books at a record pace. Other games, Green Bay and Jacksonville. Cleveland starts off in week number 1 of Philadelphia's new quarterback era at Philadelphia. We'll see how that goes at Lincoln Financial Field. And Detroit and Indianapolis. Of course, the game that I know my cousin Aaron watching in Florida is most looking forward to as the New York Giants travel to Jerry World to take on the Dallas Cowboys and beginning of the Dak Prescott era. Go Cowboys. And finishing up on Monday night with a doubleheader, Pittsburgh at Washington, and the L.A. Rams traveling to the Bay to take on San Francisco. So a full slate of NFL action this week. And when we come back, we'll wrap things up as we'll tell you again quickly about the specials. It's Tenderloin Tuesday. If you can hear my voice, just $4.25 as we roll on here at Astro Lanes in Wapakoneta on Game Face Live.
Come out to Astro Lanes in the Loft Bar and Grill, where you can find great food, good drinks, fun games, and of course, bowling. Astro Lanes, a great place to spend some spare time.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Welcome back to Astro Lanes here in Wapakoneta, and a big thank you to all the people joining us throughout the course of the day. You see the Facebook Live app is up on my phone. I've been reading the messages that people have been sending all night long, and a big thank you to everybody who is helping us help grow this show in terms of what it is that we have envisioned it will be in the future. We've got a lot of coaches who will be on throughout the course of the football season, a lot of great guests, but sometimes when you try and do things early and you have a holiday right the day before, that's why we had to move it from Monday to Tuesday, but that's where you come in. Again, you can be a part of this show on Facebook Live, on Twitter at GamefaceOhio. You can email us GamefaceOhio at gmail.com rather, and then call in at 419-581-9905 every Monday night. They've got tremendous specials here, and you can come out and just be a part of the show. We'll talk about anything you want. I've got the internet and an iPad, and we can figure out a little bit of something, unless it's cricket. It's probably not going to happen. I don't actually know anything about that. But high school football, again, coming up this week, and the PBA Regionals on September 10th and the 11th here at Astro Lanes. Find them on Facebook at Astro Lanes Bowling Center on Facebook. Find out their specials as well. And a big week, the first full weekend of high school football, college football in the NFL. If I didn't have to work all weekend calling football, I would probably just lay on my couch and take advantage of the free weekend of football. UFC coming up this weekend, too, in Cleveland, as tickets still available at the Q&O. I can't wait. It'll be a great time. Stipe Miocic, the UFC heavyweight champion from Cleveland, so the big draw on that show, and also the debut of the former professional wrestler in CM Punk. I'll be honest with you, that's the whole reason why I bought my tickets, and a big weekend coming up on tap. Again, next Monday night here at 7 p.m., we will have Game Face Live, and we hope that you can join us then. And a big week of high school football. Don't forget, Friday night at 11 p.m., you can see St. Mary's take on Shawnee from just up the road in Shawnee, or hear the game beginning at 6:30 p.m. on K94. And we'll wrap things up here for week number 2. Bigger and better things on the horizon, I promise you, here at Astro Lanes and Game Face Live for week number 2. For Todd, I'm Mike Hearn, and have a great night and even better tomorrow. We'll see you back here next Monday night.